Well, hello, York Alliance, and welcome back to this video update, and welcome back to my home office as I shelter in place here at home, just like you are wherever you're at. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for checking out this video update, and thanks for staying connected through this time. We're trying to offer a variety of different ways to connect, and I know for many of you that's been really helpful, and I'm grateful for that. Thanks for pressing into that and staying connected. The word that we've used over and over again during this time is unprecedented. This is unlike anything that any of us have experienced during our lifetimes. But this Easter celebration will certainly be unprecedented as well. This is a different kind of Easter. And in some ways, there's a sadness to that. Easter is so bound up in the loud and the joyous celebration of the people of God being together, which will be admittedly quite different. But my prayer has been and continues to be that it would be meaningful to us on a different level because it's different and because we're able to press in different ways. So whether that means reading through as a family or as an individual the Holy Week narratives, whether that means reading through and meditating on each of the resurrection accounts, whether that's something that you do in your neighborhood or your community, that you reach out in specific ways to the world around you, whether those are creative ways of being connected, a variety of different video chat platforms, and a bunch of you can have Easter dinner together, even though you're virtually connected rather than physically connected. I pray that there are ways that you can creatively make it a meaningful time, and that you're able to celebrate the hope that we have in the resurrection of Jesus through this weekend. Let me give you just a few details that I want to make sure you're up to speed on. First of all, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this by now, but we are producing a daily devotional podcast each day, Monday through Friday, in an effort to just stay connected and stay on the same page as we journey through this. It's usually roughly 10 minutes of content, just centering our hearts on the reality of Jesus during this time. And so I want to encourage you to subscribe to that if you use some sort of a podcast subscription platform, iTunes or something like that. Or you can go right to our website, yorkalliance.org, and it's on the sermon tab under resources, and it just shows up there, usually mid-morning to late morning, sometimes early afternoon, depending on the day, but right around there, each day that gets updated, and love for you to be a part of that journey. Yesterday, hopefully you received an email with some Easter outreach ideas. Our friends Alex and Hannah Absalom have put together an outreach packet of ways that we can, with safe social distancing during this shutdown of so much of our world, not shut down our evangelism efforts, not shut down our outreach efforts to the world around us, but instead be a blessing to our neighborhood. And there are some very specific and creative ways to do that in that packet. I know it was really late getting to you. Sorry about that. I just got it, and so I was forwarding it on. But I think it could be really helpful, and so my hope is that you'll jump into that. This weekend, we have two different live stream events, and hopefully you'll engage both of them because they really represent the two sides of this really important season in our Christian faith. On Friday night at 7 o'clock, we'll observe the Good Friday gathering that will gather obviously virtually. That will start right at 7 o'clock and will last just about an hour as we journey through the stations of the cross and meditate on the reality of the suffering and the death of Jesus. And then on Sunday morning, our glorious resurrection celebration obviously will be different. We're not going to be able to all be together, but we will be together via the YouTube page. And so we would love for you to join us at 10:30. Invite friends and family and neighbors to be a part of that as well. People need hope during this time, and there's nothing more hopeful than the resurrection message of Jesus. And so I want to encourage you to be a part of that. That's 10:30 at our YouTube page. And if you don't know how to direct people there, just tell them to go to yorkalliance.org, and right at the top there's a link to click to all of our live stream events. and they'll be able to click through to that. And then starting next Wednesday, we have Crossroads Livestream Edition, a whole different way of handling Crossroads, like we're doing everything differently during this season. And so that's going to be starting a little bit later. That's going to be at 7:30 on Wednesday nights for the next 3 Wednesday nights. We're going to go 7:30 to 9 in an effort to allow our younger families to get kids to bed and be able to engage at least a portion, if not all, of that time. So that'll be 7:30 to 9 on Wednesdays, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. You can send any questions that you have into questions@yorkalliance.org. We'd love to be getting your questions. We've gotten some good ones already. For the 15th and 29th, I'm just going to tackle any question you send in. So it could be on any topic in any way. I'd love to be able to engage those. And then Pastors Jonas and Beth on the 22nd are going to deal with children, youth, teen culture, families, parenting, any questions that relate to any of those things. And so I'd love for you to send those questions in as well for them to be able to engage during that time. Well, during this time, our elders and pastors and other leaders are continuing to reach out, hopefully with a lot of intentionality. I know that most, if not all of you, have received at least one phone call, many of you 2 or 3 or more, to stay connected during this time. But in case people are not coming your way, can I just say a couple things? First of all, if you have needs, please don't be shy about those needs. Let us know how we can help you. We would really love to be able to come alongside of those who are having needs, whether those be practical, financial, whether you just need somebody to go get groceries for you, whether you've hit a really difficult period due to the coronavirus from a financial perspective. Please let us know. We have people who are willing to help, and vice versa. If you are somebody who's saying, man, I just want to help during this time, let us know that, and we would love to, as needs come in, pair you with that. I know most of you got emails a few weeks ago as we tried to pair together a police officer and first a washer and dryer because of the need to quarantine away from his family for a period of time. We found the washer and dryer, but unfortunately the apartment fell through, and so we sent another email out, and amazingly the apartment was within a couple hours provided by part of the York Alliance body. Such a cool story of the way the York Alliance body has rallied around our first responders who are really out in the front lines of all of this. And so if you have needs like that, please let us know. Oh my goodness, dropping stuff in my office. Sorry about that. Please let us know so that we can be a part of the journey. And please let us know so that the blessing of giving and receiving, seeing those two things paired together, can be ours. That's part of what we're called to do as the body of Christ. And so please allow us the blessing of doing that. Another thing I want to tell you is to make sure that you're connected. My prayer during this time is that every person at York Alliance is connected to someone else at least once or twice a week with some kind of regular connect through this time. So if you don't have somebody like that, if you're saying, man, I'm connected to a few, but not really closely connected, I really need more connection, would you just shoot us an email, info@yorkalliance.org, call into the church office if don't have access to email. Email's the easiest if you're able to do that. And let us know that you need a discipleship partner, you need somebody to walk with you, and we would love to get you connected. If you have somebody that you know you can connect with, but you're saying, well, what would we do? I mean, we're just gonna say things are going okay, right? Like, how's this process gonna work? Well, in the next day or two, on our website, there's a section called Ministries, and if you click on Ministries, you'll go to Groups. And when you go to Groups, typically right now you'll just see community groups, but within the next day or two, you're going to see discipleship partners added to that. That's going to have a link for you to say, hey, I needed a discipleship partner, but it's also going to have a bunch of information on how discipleship partnerships work, what kind of connections to have, how that conversation should go, how to connect with one another, how to pray with one another, all of those kinds of things. And so all that's going to be on the website very soon, and we'd love for you to connect with that if you're not already doing that. I've heard from several of you that your discipleship partnerships are going really well during this time, and that's great. Last thing I want to say to you is don't stay inward during this time. The reality was that as all of this hit, it hit all of us very quickly. And so we needed a chance to kind of pause and collect ourselves and regroup a bit, which most everyone has done by now. We've kind of entered into a new normal, whether we like it or not, kind of the new way of doing things that we're going through right this minute. Now we need to do what the gospel calls us to do, which is now look back outside again. There's going to be lots of resources in the next several weeks of specific, tangible ways to look outside. But just start to pray for the world around you. Start to pray for your neighborhood. Start to pray for the people in your neighborhood. Make phone calls to people who are on your heart, people that you know are in need of hope during this time. Can be a really simple conversation, whether believer or not believer. 3 questions that I'm asking people: how are you doing during this time? What are your needs? Do you have any specific needs during this time? And is there a specific way that I could pray for you? It's really, really easy. You can pray right there on the phone. It's a really meaningful way. You can do the same thing with people who are walking down the street that you're just meeting. How are you doing during this time? Do you have any needs? And is there a specific way that I could pray for you? It's a really easy way to do it. Let me encourage you to not just look inward during this time, but to also look outward during this time. Let me say once again to encourage you to invite people to our Easter Sunday celebration. There's always a need for hope within our world, but I'm not sure that that need has been greater in the recent past than it is right now. And so I would love for you to invite friends and neighbors into that celebration of hope. Well, the goal of these updates, when I began to do these video updates, was to give you new information and directives as new information came out. Things seem to be leveling out a bit right now. And so the plan is, in conjunction with the conversation with our elders yesterday, to have this be the last video update that's going to be on just a weekly, regular, scheduled basis. And instead, what I'll do is every time you see a video update come into your inbox, it's because something has changed. And so I'll let you know by video when something has changed. We're trying to get ready for how we emerge on the other side of this. And so we have all kinds of different conversations going on as to the best way for us to begin to gather together again post April 30th, when we're allowed to do that in some ways. And so as that direction comes out, we'll engage that, and then as we do, we'll communicate accordingly. We know that we're going to be shelter in place until at least April 30th, and we'll see what happens after that. But I trust that God is meeting you. I know that He's been meeting me in the midst of this, and I trust that He's been meeting you in the midst of this as well. As we journey through Holy Week, through Good Friday, and then the culmination celebration of Easter Sunday, I pray that the hope of Jesus and the hope of the resurrection is yours. May the grace and peace of Jesus dwell with you. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you virtually, at least, this weekend.